Okay, it is August 15th, 2022. This is a meeting of the Hanson Recreation Commission at Needles Lodge. In attendance is Frank Malisi.
Melissa Scartesi.
Sheila Morse. Caroline Mills.
And then we have Dory Jameson, and then also Lisa Green, the town administrator. And then we also have a bunch of caretakers in the audience as well. So first order of business. So we have Lisa Green on here to review caretaker policies and procedures. But what I'm actually going to do is I'm gonna go out of order, and I'm going to go down to update the policies and procedures because we actually need to approve these policies and procedures before we can have Lisa sign off on them, I guess. So. Has everybody got a chance to read the policy procedures?
So these are the latest and greatest that were.
These are the latest. These are the ones. Yeah, these are the only ones that we have here.
Okay. So this is caretaker policy.
This is caretaker policy procedure. Yeah, there's another one that's with actual policy procedures, but this is caretaker policy procedure. I'm sorry. That's okay. Okay. So does anybody have any questions about the policy procedures? Anybody have any amendments or anything like that they want to make to it? I saw this. I'm like, oh, hi. Oh, so yeah. Have you guys got a chance to see these policies and procedures? Okay, so what we can, Maddie, can you hand those out to everybody just so we have a chance to read them? I'll give you guys a couple minutes to read that we have there. So what I'll actually do is I'm going to go out of order again, just so that you guys have a chance to read the policies and procedures that are there. And we're actually going to go over to Adriana DeStefano, request to use Cranberry Cove for a freshman meet and greet on August 28th, 2022, noon to 3 p.m. So I got a message from one of the select board members. They were concerned that this event was being held at Cranberry Cove with roughly 30 to 40 people, so probably more. It's for the South Shore Tech freshman class. It's kind of just a meet and greet that's there. So I reached out to the lady who was running it. She's from Whitman, and I just asked for a quick synopsis on what exactly they plan on doing so we can approve it. Not necessarily because we need to approve it, but for something that big that's going to happen out there, we should approve it just so we can let fire and police know that there's actually there's going to be 40 extra people there other than the people that are already going to be there anyway. Dory, do you have anything else on this or no? Did she speak with you about this?
No, not that I recall.
No.
I just got the,
Okay. Does anybody have any questions about that? Go ahead.
Do you know if there's food and they're doing food, beverage?
They did not say that they're going to have food and beverages. That she said to me.
She just said ice-breaking activities and fun activities. So
yeah, and if there was food down there, we wouldn't really be too concerned about it anyway because it's a public.
Well, I'm
beach,
thinking more like grilling, like that type of thing. You know what I mean? If they're bringing a grill and they're going to cook, you know what I mean?
In our policies and procedures, I don't think you can use a grill down at the beach.
No.
Anyway,
no grill.
Okay. Yeah. So if we do notice that, then we'll have to let them know about that.
Right.
The only question is, is it going to be a sign to close the cove down to the public
No.
so they can do this? All right.
No, it's going to be open to everybody. That's why I wanted to let fire and police know that it's just going to be an extra 40 people there on top of the public that's going to be there anyway, whether they have it. I have no issue with this. So, does anybody have a motion to approve this or any questions or amendments? No? Motion to approve by Sheila. And
Second.
Second by Melissa. Okay, all those in favor, Frank's and I. Melissa?
Aye.
Sheila?
Aye.
And Caroline?
Aye.
Awesome. Great. Okay, so then we can go through and do approval of the minutes from June 14th, 2022. Did everybody get a chance to look them over?
I wasn't at this meeting.
You weren't at this meeting? Okay, so, okay. Yes, we were. Okay, do I have a motion to approve the minutes from June 14th, 2022? Motion to approve. Sheila, do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Caroline. All those in favor, Franks and I. Sheila?
Aye.
And Caroline?
Aye.
Awesome. Okay, and do we have a motion to approve the meeting minutes from June 27th, 2022? I believe you were at this.
I was
right?
there,
Okay,
yep.
great. Okay, do I have a motion to approve?
Motion to approve.
Okay, motion approved by Melissa. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Sheila. All those in favor, Franks and I. Melissa?
Oh, aye.
Oh,
Yep.
Aye.
and then Caroline. Awesome. Okay, last one in minutes, July 18th, 2022. Okay, so Caroline, I don't believe you were here for this one. You can still vote on it if you listen to it online, if you had that much free time in you. Okay. So, okay, do I have a motion to approve the July 18th, 2022 meeting minutes? Motion to approve from Sheila. Do I got a second?
Second.
Okay, all those in favor, Frank's aye. Melissa?
Aye.
Sheila? Awesome. And then Caroline would abstain from that one. Okay, great. Everybody have a chance to read the policies and procedures? Okay. Any questions or concerns about them from you guys? No? Does everything make sense? Anything need to be more clear? No?
I have a question, something that
Okay.
kind of doesn't make sense.
Sure.
Well, it makes sense, but I can see it as being a future issue.
Okay.
So if someone does not show up for work assigned, or work hours assigned to them, it becomes disciplinary action. I get that. If you're not on the schedule and you showed up for work, you will not be paid unless you have prior approval. Okay. Where was it? Okay. If you are sick or need to switch your hours, it will be up to you as the employee to find a replacement and notify. I see that as causing issue with, I did call, so-and-so was supposed to show up, and then it turns into a no-show for both.
Yeah, no, I get that.
It's just the wording is, I don't know,
Well, they have to find a replacement and so they have to do both. Two things, right? And notify would be Dory, or I don't know.
It would be Maddie.
Whoever the reporting authority would be.
Yeah.
Maddie.
Would be Maddie. I mean, how do you?
I just find it weird that an employee is responsible for finding their own replacement for hours.
Okay.
I just never seen that go down well.
Okay.
How does it work now, Maddie?
Yes.
We have a group chat that sometimes people throw in, like if they need a shift covered, or
Yeah.
someone can text someone specifically and say like, hey, can you cover my Saturday shift or switch with me? And then if someone does, typically if it's in the group chat, I'll see it, but if they text me separately, they'll say like, hey, Emily's covering this shift for me, and then I'll update the calendar so it shows that person's expected to be on that shift when that happens.
Okay. So.
I had an issue with it, but I could see if someone's unreliable, it could be an issue.
So regardless of anyone else's hours, or if we're on like some sort of hour band or anything like that, that they can accept someone else's if they're filling in for them?
Yeah, as far as I know, we've not on anything. I mean, unless like they're going to hit the 19, then they should be accepting it because they can't go over 19. But no one, in terms of events, which is where it typically becomes where people want to switch, no one's going to hit 19. But when someone's in a desperation, there may be a chance that Em's going to get more hours. That person's going to lose their hours because they're giving away their shift. So that's their hours they're giving away. So they can't be upset that they're losing 4 hours because they're giving it to somebody. I guess I don't know. That's what you mean.
No, I was just, I meant like if someone is close to the cap of hours, it kind of disqualifies them from helping someone else out.
So,
You know what I mean?
Yeah, so can I just clear that? I'll just clear that up for a second. So it's not specifically 19 and a half hours per week they can't go over. It's a pool of hours within a year. So, for example, if I'll just say let's say 19 and a half hours a week is 50. Let's say it's 1,000 hours a year is the pool. As long as they don't go over that pool of 1,000 hours, then it shouldn't be an issue when it comes to the benefits and things like that. So, if somebody wanted to work 23 hours in a week for an event because they covered somebody else, that's fine as long as in the overall year they don't hit the cap of the 19 and a half hours. Right? Am I saying that correct? Okay, great. I'm getting good at this. Any other questions or concerns? No. Do you want it to amend that piece, or do you want to keep it how it is? Okay. Okay. Do I have a motion to approve the new caretaker policies, or I'm sorry, caretaker policies and procedures?
I motioned.
Okay, Caroline, motion to approve. Do I got a second?
Second.
Second by Melissa. Okay, all those in favor, Frank's and I. Melissa?
All right.
Sheila?
Aye.
Okay, Caroline? Awesome. Okay, great. And then I'll hand it over to Lisa. Lisa, did you want to go off of that right there?
Yeah, so, the policies and procedures are in place, because there's been some issues in the past where people didn't know who to go to if there was a problem, or exactly like who to call if they were sick or anything like that. So at least this will give you a guide, provide guidance on who to call, who to go to if you need to. And personnel issues and radar from the state, any state agency, they can make your life miserable. And basically, we want to comply with all of the labor regulations that are out there and human resources and personnel regulations that are out there. So this will help at least alleviate any confusion or employees know where they stand when they're here as an employee or when they're not here where they stand as well. So hopefully, any questions or confusion that come up with that, you can always call the hospital authority or us. Hopefully, we can agree with what something we need.
Makes sense. Okay, and if you guys have any questions about these policies and procedures before or anything like that, or you see something that doesn't really work or make sense, we can put it on the agenda to discuss again in the future or something like that. And if there's any questions or if one of these need to be, it's like a gray area, you don't really know, ask Dory. She can go ahead and assist you through it. Or if there's something in the policy procedures that looks wrong but you need to do, get clearance from Dory or anything like that, or and Lisa as well, just so we don't get in trouble.
And if I may,
Yep.
Chairman, I just want to really reiterate, the commission members are not personnel, they're not managers, they are volunteers from the town who work in the town service. They are not to be contacted with any kind of personnel issues at all. That's not their authority, and that's not their place here as Recreation Commission. If you have a personnel matter, contact Dory, who will then contact me, who is the personnel director in the town administrator. Okay? We can't have our board members put in a very awkward position if they're called with a personnel matter, because now you kind of compromised their ability to sit on this board and have a non-biased opinion if you bring them into a personnel matter, which they don't have the authority to deal with. So if there's personnel matters, you contact Dory or the chair, and then they will bring this in so that we can work to resolve the personnel matters. We don't want the Recreation Commission to be put in any kind of situation that will compromise their ability to sit on the board, and then the way that the campus run under the people that are paid to do that job.
And just one more thing on that as well. If people don't feel comfortable going to their direct manager, if it's like a Renee or something, Renee's not a manager, but just using an example, you can always go to the person above them as well. Like if there's an issue with that particular person, you can go to the next person in line. It kind of stops at Lisa though. So Lisa's, if people have an issue with Lisa for whatever reason, you kind of in the water there. So.
Resolution, whatever matter or issue you're facing, something, the director will figure it out. Let's make it be able to support our employees, make this a great place to work. If anybody's in any type of situation that makes them uncomfortable, or makes them weary about their job or anything like that, come to me, we'll figure it out, we'll fix it.
Okay, so we took a motion on that. We're all good. Next order of business is, Lisa, you don't have to stay if you don't want to. you can go if you want, if you don't want anything else that's there. So let's see. Okay, so the next one is, so Roger, you have an update on the kitchen policy procedures?
Yeah, I'd like to take care of the kitchen if we can, and we'll hold the equipment out there so everybody knows.
Okay.
Knows out there.
Okay, so just 1 second. Maddie, yep.
Sorry, I was gonna say, I didn't know, like, this, some of you guys are here just this is a mandatory meeting, so.
Yeah.
I
So,
just-
oh yeah,
I
so.
didn't know when they can go, so they don't stay the whole.
Yeah, you guys can go if the policies and procedures. That's really the only thing we wanted people here for. So if you don't want to stay for the fun, you don't have to. I know everybody's busy. That's kind of why we called this earlier than usual, is just to get it out of the way and then kind of go. Yeah, Sheila, Sheila can't go either. Okay, so I'm gonna table that right now because I don't want to pick this up and go in there and do everything like that. So what we can do is
As long as nobody's leaving, I'm fine with that.
Yeah, no, that's fine. So, I'm not sure who is, but this meeting might go a little bit longer. I mean, if you wanna do kind of a whole thing at the end of the meeting after we adjourn, and then if you want to touch base with whoever is not here afterwards, like, if Renee needs to know or something like that, then that's completely cool. I just don't know if we can get up and go over there and do that.
Is
So,
everybody staying for the meeting, or?
yeah.
I know Robert's intent was to introduce.
Yeah, there's a lot that needs to be seen it up there.
Okay. Okay, we'll get through this fast, then we can go in the kitchen and do that, okay? Okay, so we have appointment of facilities manager, Roger Means. So Roger, we put out the application process for the facilities manager. Roger was the only one that applied. So, yeah, do we have any discussion? I see you graduated from 8th grade. Class of 1974. That's good. Okay. Okay. Does anybody have any discussion about that? Does anybody want to make a motion?
Sure, I'll motion to approve Roger Means as the facilities manager at Camp Kawani.
Okay, so we have that motion made by Melissa. Do I have a second? Second by Sheila. I'll give it to Sheila. All those in favor? Frank, aye.
Melissa, aye.
Okay, thank you very much. Okay, congratulations, Roger. Okay, discussion on vendor contracts. I'm actually going to put that one kind of the back end right now. I'm gonna go out of order, and I'll come back to that.
Sorry, just with one thing with Roger, is this effective immediately? What is this?
Effective
Yes.
immediately, if I may, Mr.
Yeah.
Chairman, because the Board of Selectmen took a vote last Tuesday, contingent upon your vote tonight.
Oh, I see.
So, yeah, so
Okay.
it's effective immediately. So if I may, Mr. Chairman, I
Yes.
just want to say thank you, Roger. Honestly, I think I speak on behalf of everybody here, that we're very lucky to have Roger on board, one of the staff. He really was doing the job the minute he walked through the door. And I personally want to say thank you so much
Yeah.
for your support and your dedication and your loyalty. It's beyond bounds. And I just wanted for the record to say thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
And thank you.
Yep. Thanks, Roger. We appreciate it. Awesome. So let's go. So we're going to go out of order again over to submission of town meeting articles. I think I mentioned that last meeting, and this ties directly to the policies and procedures updates that we have there as well. So I would like to ask the Board of Selectmen to submit an article to change the name of the commission. I would like to have it to be the Camp Kawani Commission and not the Recreation Commission. Is there any discussion on that? No? Anybody? No?
So, yeah, I have a question.
Sure.
So does that mean, we are cutting ties with recreation that we can't even do anyway?
No, not necessarily. I mean, we could still do recreation here like how we did it before. So, for example, like the Spooktaculars, like we could still run our own programs here. It's just, the beach will still be our responsibility, right?
Yeah.
If the town decided to actually put money into recreation and have an actual recreation commission that just does recreation, then they can come to the camp and say, we want to do this and we want to do that, and like we can have them facilitate it here. The problem is we don't do recreation.
Right.
So, I mean, other than the Cove, we don't do recreation here. We manage the camp. So, it's just kind of, it doesn't really make sense to me why we call the Recreation Commission, especially when we could have, at the town level, if they wanted to create another recreation department, they can give that department a budget that's actually used for only recreation and kind of going from there. But we could still do, it will essentially be operations the same as usual. It's just, everybody will not see us as a recreation committee, they'll see us as the Camp Kawani Commission, so. Or Camp Kawani Committee, however you want to call it.
So, for those of us who joined under the preface that, we were going to be able to participate and start fun recreation in the town, where does that leave us?
In the same place that we were when you joined, where you could still do recreation here. It's just that realistically, a recreation committee like it is in Whitman, for example, and surrounding towns, recreation committee has the ability to do recreation essentially in any town property, right? Across the whole town. They could work with Parks and Fields and do something at Voltari Field. They can do something at McQuon, things like, we don't have any jurisdiction to do that, right? So we, as the recreation committee, only had jurisdiction to do stuff at the camp, make policy and procedures at the camp. So we would still be doing recreation here at the camp. It just wouldn't be under the Recreation Commission that was there. It would be under the Camp Kawani Committee, if that's the name that we choose to go with. I mean, I don't really see any difference other than the name, because we could still do all those things anyway. We still have a recreation budget item. We still have, you know, the Cove budget items and things like that. So like, for example, our 2023 budget that we're going to be talking about, we still have special events, you know, at, you know, $2,500 or $2,000 that we can still use for recreation. It's just that the name would essentially change, giving the residents of Hanson a more clear view of exactly what we do. Because when they see Recreation Committee, they expect us to be doing recreation all over the town, and we can't. We have no authority to do that in our policy procedures and in the way that the Recreation Committee was actually formed. So, does that make sense?
Yeah.
That's my only question, though, the funds are still there to do recreation.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, the funds are still there to do recreation. It's the same thing that we were doing before. It's just renaming the committee. Any more discussion on that? No? Do I have a motion for accepting that change to be named the Camp Quaney Committee?
So, oh, just a question.
Yeah.
So do we see any ramifications from any of town employees or anything, anyone from the town doing this? Or is it kind of just our decision? It's
I'm not sure what will, in what way.
kind of what you were saying, you know, are people going to think that we're not going to provide recreation? I guess we don't provide
I mean, realistically, we don't provide it
now.
anyway, right? We provide the Cove, right? But
Yeah.
when was the last time we had a recreation event here that was
Right.
like actual recreation, right? I mean, we have the Cove, which is great recreation, but I think my personal opinion is I think it's worse when the town has a recreation committee that doesn't provide recreation than having no recreation committee at all.
And
Because
it puts pressure on us too, you know, because we don't have a volunteer base. We don't have a lot of budget to provide the entire town recreation. Even if it was here, even if we have events here, you know what I mean?
yeah.
I think it's just more the way, the calendar. There's, I mean, you can
Well,
go
that
through
too.
a year, 2 or 3 years in advance, and there's no way you can drop anything.
Yep.
So what, you know, I'm not gonna do anything on a Monday night knowing we're the only ones gonna be here.
Right.
Yep.
I know.
I mean, and this vote is just to essentially ask the Board of Selectmen to put on an article at the town meeting to do it.
Yeah.
If they say no,
Right.
Keep as is.
then we'll keep it as is, right? I mean, it's just kind of one of those things that I feel like if we're gonna have a recreation department in town, it should be like Parks and Rec.
Right.
So when the parks, they have a budget of, you know, X number of dollars, they can do the parks and fields and the recreation on top of it. I mean, you know, skate park needs updating. As a recreation department, we have no say over the skate park, right? So like, you know, it's one of those things that, you know, it's just kind of, it's kind of a mistitle of what we actually do, even though we do provide recreation here, but it's as a camp, it's not as a town. That's my opinion on it, so.
Okay.
Any questions or concerns? Dory, anything?
I would agree with that, Mr. Chairman. I would just say that, you know, it's misunderstood, like Parks and Rec, that's under the town umbrella.
Yep.
We get calls all the time for recreation. It's like, no, that's Park and Fields. We're Camp Kawani. You know, we're
Yeah.
recreation, but we're Camp Kawani. I think makes perfect sense to become Camp Kawani Commission and not the Recreation Commission, because all of our funding, everything we do is under our umbrella of Camp Kawani. Nothing to do with the town. So I think it makes perfect sense to go that route.
Yep. Okay, so I would entertain a motion to ask the Board of Selectmen to submit an article changing the Recreation Committee name to the Camp Kawani Committee.
Is that how you want to name? Is that the official name you want to change it to?
Do you guys have any other name?
What did you say it was?
Camp Kawani Committee or Commission?
Oh.
That is. I just don't know what else to name it. That's as pretty straightforward as I can come up with it. CKC, I don't know. I mean, I'm on Capital Improvement Committee too, so that's, you know, it's about the same. That's CIC, so we can do the both as it's there. So
Or Camp Kawani Operations Committee? Or
that's longer than before.
I know. What do you think, Dory?
My suggestion would be to stick with the commission, because that's what you are now, and you're just changing recreation, which is really soccer and all that, to Camp Kawani. That would be my recommendation. Stick with the commission.
So Camp Kawani
And
Commission.
you're just funneling it down to what we're really doing, Camp Kawani Commission.
Taking the recreation.
I think, yeah, with the definitions, commission fits better.
Okay. So, okay, so do I have I'll entertain a motion to request that the Board of Selectmen change the name. Actually, I'm not sure if it needs to be an article at town meeting. It might just be the Board of Selectmen have the power to do it.
Yeah, because don't they appoint, isn't that, they appoint us?
Do they have permission to do that? I think they do, right?
Well, I think we're in the bylaws, aren't you? In the
Oh,
bylaws,
yeah,
so we
okay.
have to go to town
Okay,
meeting.
okay, great. So I will entertain a motion to ask the Board of Selectmen to submit a town meeting article changing the Recreation Committee to the Camp Kawani Commission. Do I have a motion
So
for that?
moved.
So moved. Do I have a second?
Second.
Sheila, okay. So it was moved by Melissa, second by Sheila. Okay, all those in favor, Frank's and I. Melissa?
Aye.
Sheila? Caroline? Awesome. Great. So, and that goes down to the next one, which is update of policies and procedures. So I went through, because if we do change the name, this would have been all voided if we just didn't make that vote. So this is going through and changing the policies and procedures to actually reflect the Camp Kawani Commission in the policies and procedures. So there was that change, and then there was another change as well that says we can't have people here for over 2 weeks at a time, stay camping for over 2 weeks at a time. That was because we had a slight gypsy problem here, so go ahead and leave that alone. so and that's under the camping section. I forget which one it is. Camping. Would help if it wasn't 50 pages. Where is it? Is there another? Was this the one with the? I'm not sure. Was this the one with the? With that in there. Oh, this is the most updated copy. Okay, so this one right. So there's actually another copy that I must not have sent to Dory before I went away on vacation. But it essentially adds a section to the camping that says you can't stay for over 14 days. And then there's also one line at the bottom that says 11 that all I will abide by Mass General laws and ethics laws. That's going to be number 11 on the last page where we have to sign it. So if anybody would like to approve that with those amendments, so I'll send the other copy to Dory so she could send it out to everybody here that we have that.
So moved.
So moved. Moved by Melissa. Do I have a second? Second by Sheila. All those in favor? Frank, aye. Melissa?
Aye.
Sheila? And Caroline? Awesome. Great. Okay, update on wage and personnel for special town meetings. So we need to actually go through and fix some of the changes for the wage and personnel bylaws that we have. I don't actually have the wage and personnel sheet on me. I forgot it. What was I'm trying to figure out what the caretaker salary range was, the lifeguard salary range.
Okay. So, yeah,
Was I think lifeguards were at Melissa, can you pull up the town meeting on your phone to get the salary ranges for the lifeguards, the
Where would it be?
caretakers, and the event
no, I
coordinators?
put it in the office.
Is that easy to get? Oh yeah, okay, yeah. Can you get that, Dory? Sorry. Okay, so we'll actually wait for Dory to come back and do that. So I'll move to discussion on vendor contracts, paint night with Kath, Rogers Wicked Fun Tours, and Ariana Arts and Crafts, Drama Kids, and SEMA. I need that list of salaries that we have there so we can go through and bring it to wage and personnel and have them put in there for next year's. Because I want, if we're going to be hiring lifeguards in January, February and looking for life. We actually need to change the rate that they're going to be employed at the October special town meeting, so we can actually post that it's going to be that rate in January.
Yeah.
If we did it in May, it'd be too late. All the lifeguards are taken.
Yeah, no, we have to move on that, yeah.
Okay, so the next one is the discussion from K&M. Oh no, I'm sorry, it's the vendor contracts. My fault. For the paint night with Kath. So these are the revenues that we got from each program.
The only thing about, I just saw the paint with Kath, she had to up her charge. It was 20, the last one we did, the child, it was $25, and then the adult one was $35. That's just a little change on that.
Okay, thank you. Okay, so the vendor contract. So we were going to get away from doing the 80-20 split for where we don't have to do it. So within this, so I'm sorry, Dory. So Drama Kids gave us $2,645, or is that how much they made?
That's how much revenue we received from Drama Kids for one fiscal year.
Okay, so what is the $70 a month?
That's what they charge, just for your information.
Oh,
They
okay,
charge-
okay.
She charges $70 a month.
Okay.
And the revenue that we received, the 80-20 split, is the $2,645.40.
Okay. Okay, that makes more
Yeah,
sense.
So all that you see there is the revenue that we've received, and on the other side is just to give you an idea of, like Roger's Wicked Fun Tours, he charges $25, and Kath is $20 a child, $30 an adult.
Okay.
Ariana's $45, and Steam Up was $75 for the 3 classes.
Okay.
Just to give you an idea of what they charge, and then in turn, what we see.
Is Rogers Wicked Fun Tours still doing their kayak rentals, or are they done with that?
No, I received a message from him, he had a medical emergency.
Okay.
And I have not heard any details, and he hasn't been back.
Okay.
So unfortunately, something's wrong there.
Yeah.
Okay. So in this case, there would be, so Rogers Fun Tours, if he were to come back, that would have to be an 80-20 split scenario, right? Because he does receipts and like rents out, and he doesn't actually like rent the facility. But I don't think I think the other 4 can be a flat fee per time they use the lodge. We just got to figure out what kind of fee that is, how much that will be, if it's in line with these numbers that are right here. I know that. How many times does she do paint with Kath? Once a month?
We try to do it once a month.
Once a month,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
Okay. How long does she usually do it for? Is it like 2 hours? An hour?
She does a 2-hour slot, but she's usually done in an hour and a half.
Okay.
Yeah.
Trying to figure out what that would be. Okay.
So I guess it would be, and then the caretakers, so the caretakers show up an hour before it starts, is that correct? And then
Right.
an hour after,
Yeah,
approximately?
yeah.
Okay.
Okay, does anybody have an idea of a flat fee that we could charge the vendors per time they use the facility?
So would you say the caretakers were hour before and after, with the 2 hours, so it's a 4-hour total for someone?
2 hours. 1 hour before the event. Total.
And are they?
Yeah, then they're here
Are they
during, yeah.
So it's 4 hours each
Yeah.
caretaker needed? Okay.
Well, depending on, Drama
Or
Kids,
whatever the.
yeah, Drama Kids is only an hour, I think.
Okay.
So that would be 3.
Okay. So this
How many times, just once a week?
Twice a week.
Twice a week.
Drama Kids, yeah.
do that fast.
So the paint was 4 hours a month, right?
Yeah, approximately.
Around 6 hours per week.
A week.
Alright, so that's not easy. Would we want to settle on a flat fee for all that's the same? Is that what we're saying, or each individual vendor?
I mean, my personal opinion, I would like to get a flat fee for everybody, so it's kind of
Yeah.
there and it's fair and everybody has the same thing.
Okay.
So we don't have not only the perception, but we're not essentially saying, okay, Drama Kids, you can use it for $25, and then we charge, paint with Kath $50 or something like that. I would like to get like an hourly fee in there. Maybe, is it $20 an hour for use of the facility that we get it there. I mean, I'm not sure what because we are paying a caretaker at minimum $15 an hour to be there for each time that they're there.
What's max, like 20?
Max for a caretaker is, yeah, it is $20. Yeah, max is 20. I'm not terribly concerned about like hitting the max per se, because it will kind of be, you know, I mean, and they'll save an hour by not having to provide us receipts either. You just say you use it for X number of hours.
Right.
Dory, do you have any idea about that? What do you have a number that you would think would work with this?
I honestly don't. I don't.
Okay.
It's a weird situation. It's a weird thing. Like, how do you gauge? You know what I mean? Like,
How, Ariana?
We don't. So here's the thing. Like, we don't have to gauge it like that. Like, you guys can gauge it if you have another idea of how to gauge it. I'm just like throwing stuff out there.
I know.
I'm not.
I would just suggest, I mean, when we do a function here, we do $500 for 5 hours, basically $100 an hour is what we charge for somebody to use our lodge, which is great.
Yeah.
And it's a good price for everything. So it's kind of like a ruler there. Ariana's arts and crafts, she only had 1 week and never came back, didn't get any more
Okay.
participation.
Take her out of that
But Drama
program.
Kids is, all through spring. They're 2 days a week. They're our biggest one.
Oh, so this is even a yearly total. This is like 6 months out of the year that
This
this
is
This
July right here.
is a yearly total, but not
Yeah, but-
everybody's all year, exactly.
Yeah, so the 2,600 for Drama Kids, but because they don't do it in the summertime.
Right.
They're not coming back.
Okay,
in
so
the
that.
summer.
So if they did do it a summer, it'd probably be like $5,000 that they would be giving us for total revenue, right? If they did that, okay.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
And they have vacations and, it's
Yeah,
not
okay.
constant. So,
If you were to do, what about? I'm just throwing this out. What about like a street, like 3%?
What do you mean?
3% based on like we get the same percentage for everybody, or does that make it fair?
So
I'm just
the-
trying to.
well, I mean, that's what the 80-20 is right now, right? It's an 80-20. So we get 20% of the
I guess,
percentage
yeah.
for everything. So if anything, we just be cutting ourselves down a deeper hole.
Right.
But the problem is also is like, we need to get out of the business of going to people's checkbooks. Like I shouldn't have the receipts from Drama Kids. They should just pay me every time they want to use the facility a particular
To
way
cover
for-
our costs.
To cover our costs that are there. So we're not
Right.
necessarily making money on the recreation, but we're not losing money on it either, and it's kind of stable throughout the whole.
That's one of the purposes of moving away from any.
Correct. Yeah, when we don't need to have a receipt to figure out how much. So like Roger's Fun Tours, for example, right? He actually does that, and he's outside, and he actually does a receipt every time somebody uses a kayak, right? So that would make sense in an 80-20. The bar service, right? Every time they use it, it's the 80-20. But for things that are here consistently twice a week for an hour, each time, it would be easier for us and for town hall to say, okay, $35 every time, or $35 an hour or something like that every time you're here. Just so, because what happens is if we were to get audited, right, we'd have to be like, where's all the receipts from Drama Kids? And we'd have to give them all the receipts that showed that they paid us $2,640, and then they would go to Drama Kids and, well, why don't you show us all the receipts that you actually made that much? And it just kind of creates a whole downward slide of crap, essentially, is what it is.
So there's no purpose of making more money for the camp.
No. This is not to make more money for the camp. This is essentially to break even. Yeah. So if we wanted to, forego the 80-20 split and set like a flat rate of $18 an hour for the caretakers, perfectly fine, right? Because we're not going to make any money off of that. If the caretaker that's staying here only makes 15, sure, we'll have $3 extra an hour, but the next caretaker who comes might make 20. So it will kind of even itself out down the line. It's not to make money off these guys, except for the bar service.
So yeah, the other thing too, I mean, just to throw this out, I mean, it's not just caretakers too. Like especially in the winter, we've got heat. They turn the heat on, gas. Air, if we use air conditioning when it's
Right.
hot, there's also utilities that we're
Yep.
providing as well.
Yes, that is true. So we have that as well. But
I mean, I don't know.
I think it would be, so last year for all of 2022, or I'm sorry, for fiscal year 2022, or is that fiscal year 22 or fiscal year 21? Okay, so that's for fiscal year 22. We spent approximately $5,900 in, from what I see here, $5,900 in gas.
And right above that, 4,700.
And right above that, 4,700 in electricity. So, but that's being paid by the weddings that we do and things like that. I'm not terribly concerned about them really footing that bill.
Yeah, it's a small percentage, definitely.
Can I put a math problem to somebody and someone else do the math to make sure? So Drama Kids works on a 10-month basis, so it's 6 hours per week, so an average of like 24 hours a month, right? That's 240 hours a year.
Yeah.
Now,
Yes.
if we charge $25 per hour, so 240 times 25, how much would that come? I'm just curious, how would it compare to 2,600?
So here's a question. Why are the caretakers here an hour before Drama Kids and an hour after? I guess I'm gonna send that to Maddie. Is there a reason in particular that they're here an hour before and an hour after?
Well, some of their setup depending on, but like also we don't want to show up right when all the kids are showing up and right when the adults show up.
Yeah.
And then sometimes it goes long, so I budget for the fact that maybe half of my kids stuck here, so I don't want you to think that you're ready to go home at like 6:30 because
Yep.
a lot of kids maybe the kids may still be leaving, you can't lock the building up behind them, like you can't just shut them out the building and shut the doors at the time slot. So
Okay.
I mean it could be a half an hour to an hour if you want to do that.
Yeah.
But there has to be some kind of window so we can get here before they get here and so that we can know that they may not leave on time. So like maybe same thing with weddings. We're always here an hour after weddings are over because it takes a long time to get everything out.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was thinking. Is if we did a half hour before and after, that would cut their total weekly usage by 2 hours essentially, because we wouldn't need them here for 3 or for 6 total for the 2 days. We need them here for 4, right? Or the caretakers here.
So that now you're asking them for $6,000 a year instead of $2,600, just at $25 an hour. That's just covering. So that means that we're losing money right now. The 26. That doesn't make any sense. And just so you know, my husband just said that Daryl is down at the dock taking the PVC off. In case anybody cares. You know what?
It's people down.
Just get promoted over here.
Facilities manager.
Yeah, go ahead, facilities manager. Daryl, yes.
Would we consider maybe charging $100 an hour? I mean, that's what we
No,
charge for
no,
everybody
that'd be
else.
too
I
much.
think that's
way too
I
much.
think that's way too much.
No, that'd be too much.
For the larger groups, like your drama kids and all that, that might be feasible, but I think we would lose all the little tiny little mom and pops that.
I don't even think that's feasible for Drama Kids. $100 an hour. If they use that's $400 a week. That
I mean,
they're
your
paying for.
calculation
I'm
is
more
what?
thinking 25.
Like,
I was more thinking 18. But that's just me.
All right, why don't we call it in the middle of 20?
Call in the middle of 20. 100 would be too much. 100 would be a
For
lot.
drama kids, so
it's going to
I mean,
affect drama
we
kids.
don't want, we're not making anything off of it, and all we need to do is cover costs of their salaries and a smidge more for heat and electric.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
it, right? That's all we need to do.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I'm confused, Dory. So if you're saying to charge them $100 an hour, like we do a function rate, so if we charge them, I mean, they wouldn't. We would essentially take all their money.
Yeah.
Like they wouldn't have any money left, because if
not,
we
not for drama kids.
for
That's what I'm talking about, drama kids.
yeah
I
for
think the Kath is very infrequent. Ariana's was only once, never again. Steam Up was once. I don't know if they'll be back. Roger's looking fun to us. I don't know if they'll be back. So really, we're talking about drama kids.
yeah and
So
but
it's fair.
yeah, but drama kids is also drama kids. So if you did, that'd be, hold on, let me do the math for us. That'd be $1,600 a month. So that'd be $16,000 they'd have to pay us over 10 months to do that.
They
And-
only do, drama kids is 2 hours a week.
Yeah, but even if it was two hours a week, that's they'd have to. They do it 2 hours a week, but we need to have a caretaker here for a certain portion of it.
Yeah.
Right, so they're paying us right now $200 a week times, I mean, even
I mean, so no, it's not 52 weeks. It's less than that, but
Yeah,
it would still
I
be
know.
almost triple this cost that they're paying us right now, which would be crazy. I mean, I guess if we wanted to, we could say, you know, if we have a half hour set up and a half hour after, we could say $40 a class that they have here, because that would kind of cover it. So we could say, okay, you're gonna want to use the lodge for an hour, that'd be $40 for you to use the lodge. That would cover our costs on both ends as well. So it's
Well,
not like
then I think we're just getting back into, now we have to go to each and every individual organization that's coming in here and getting confusing. Why don't we just call it what we want to do and do it per hour? You know?
well, yeah. I mean, that's what I was saying. I was saying if we charge $40 an hour for recreation to be here and use the lodge, that's essentially what we're doing. But what we're doing is we're charging them really $20 an hour in caretaker time, because you're going to need a caretaker here for 2 hours for a 1 hour event. We charge them $40 for an hour, right? So drama kids would come by and say, okay, we're going to pay, so that'd be $80, be $160, $320. So that'd be probably a little bit more than the $2,600 that they're paying right now. Probably be close to like $2,800 or $2,900, but it would be $40 for their hour slot, and that would essentially cover us. It would be $20 an hour for a 2 hour caretaker, if that makes sense.
That's why the math is coming up so high, because I'm charging them in my head per the hour before the hour after, but you're not charging.
Yeah, I would charge them an hour for, so like,
Well, when we're doing individual contracts, that's when we could put that information in. Set it on a set rate, X amount of dollars per hour, and then, okay, Melissa, your organization, we would need 3 hours for you to do what you need to do. This is what your fee is going to be.
Yep.
Frank, you would need 6 hours. This is your fee, you know?
yeah,
Do
that's,
that.
I guess the question is so when we were talking about the $20 an hour before, right, that included the caretaker that's here for 2 hours.
Right.
They don't really care about the caretaker need to be here for 2 hours. They're going to use the event for 1 hour, right? So instead of charging them $20 an hour to drama kids, we could say, okay, it's going to be $40 an hour, because we need that caretaker here for the extra hour, half hour, and half hour after. Does that make sense? Or am I just confusing myself, because I think I am?
Yeah, because we're paying them 30, so.
Yeah, so essentially we're paying out 30, we're getting 40 for their hour, even though we're working 2 hours.
No,
right?
I
Yeah.
get all that, but in terms of us trying to spell this out, I think, if it makes sense to me, we need to settle on just a flat
Yeah.
fee, and then word it in whatever the vendor's contract is for the amount of hours that we have to pay staff or whatnot, and this is what they would owe.
So do the
Because if
hourly
we
fee.
turn around and say, okay, you factor out drama kids to $40 an hour, you know what I mean? We've got it all over the place. It's $40 an hour here. It's only
Oh, I
20
see what
here
you
for them. It's only 10 for him. You know, so it's
It
kind
should
of-
be one rate for everyone.
One rate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
right now, when drama kids doing like 80 hours, they're paying us with the 26 is somewhere between 30 and 35. Just so, you know, you can.
Oh, an hour.
Currently.
Oh, okay, an hour.
Okay.
So
And that's covering the 3 hour time frame.
and that's currently covering the 3 hour time range, but we would cut that time range down to 2 hours, because there would only be a half hour
So it
before
would be
and a half
less
hour
for
after.
them if we were to do like a
Yeah,
20
I just want
hour.
to make sure it's like, you're currently charging 35. and
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because I think this is back to our recreation piece of the commission, like your affordable recreation, that's what we're trying to
Yeah.
provide the town, and that's
Yeah.
something really cool for the drama kids, like, you don't want to lose that.
Yeah, no, I definitely don't want to lose that. I think they're important. That's why I don't want to make money off them. I just want to
Right.
kind of cover our bases. I mean, I think $40 an hour is reasonable. I don't know if that's
$40 an hour?
40. So like,
No.
so drama kids comes in, say Tuesday. They want to use the lodge for an hour.
Right.
It would be, or we can have a stipulation in there saying you need to have a caretaker 30 minutes before and 30 minutes after, and charge
Yes.
$20 an hour.
Yes.
That's what I'm-
That's the wording that.
Yeah, okay,
Yeah.
okay.
Because when we're starting to throw, well, how come they paid
Right,
20
it's gotta be
and I
consistent.
paid 40, and then we gotta try to explain to them, well, we need a caretaker here.
Okay.
Like, that's what you need to do, break it up in their individual contract. This
Okay.
is what is
Okay.
gonna be needed.
But
from you.
we're all in agreement that it should be one flat rate.
Yes.
Okay. Okay. So in the contract, we can do $20 an hour plus an additional hour for caretaker setup and breakdown. Right.
Right,
So if drama kids
whatever.
here for
Yes.
3 hours, we will charge them $80, because it'll be the 3 hours that they're here plus the half hour and the half hour at the both ends. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay. that make sense? Does that make sense? Or you need me to explain that again?
No, it makes sense what you said, I understand what you
Okay,
said.
okay. And in that case, so everybody will have the same $20 an hour flat fee. And that's it, right? You want to use it, $20 an hour, but even for an hour, you still need to have the half hour and the half hour on both caretakers. Does that work, Maddie?
Then why are we just including that? If it's $20 an hour and it's a half an hour and a half an hour, why are we saying it's $20 plus the $15? Why isn't it $35 an hour?
Well, I think we need to put it in as wording because someone could come in and just say, but I was only here for 1 hour. No, this is what we require, set up and clean up after. That's
Right.
your charge, not ours.
It could all,
For everybody.
Yes.
Yeah.
Why isn't it $35?
Or-
instead of 20? And just flat rate?
or it could be a 2-hour minimum, right? So you have an hour event, but there's an hour set up on both ends. Like that, Caroline?
You might get into like, the only reason why is like steam up. Let's say there wasn't any, it was just that hour, like she didn't seem to need any time for somebody to set up or break down for her, so she may not need the caretaker hour, extra 30.
I feel like everyone has to.
Yeah,
We have to
you-
open the building, we have
Yeah.
to turn the power on, like just,
But she didn't even use the building.
Well, I think there has to be a caretaker here on site for it anyway, right?
yeah.
And so, I mean, we have to pay somebody to be here anyway for it, so, you know.
So would it make sense just to say $35 and that covers the half hour of the caretaker and the $20 an hour?
But what, $35, it makes more sense to break it down per hour and then tell them what is required of them. Because if we say $35, for what? $35 for 2 hours, for 3 hours? What if this one only uses it for 1 hour?
Right.
Why, do you only get it for 15 then? See how?
Because,
Like,
yeah.
you gotta think of the logic of the way
Because
people are
Kath
gonna
uses
look at
it,
that.
technically Kath uses her program for 2 hours. So and Drama Kids is only an hour. So they don't use it for the same
Yeah, so
amount of time.
in this model, if she uses it for 2 hours, Kath would pay $60 for the whole event. That was there. That's essentially what she would do, because she would pay for the 2 hours of her activity,
Yep.
plus she would pay for the 30 minutes before and the 30 minutes after.
Right.
Everyone should just be charged that.
Which that's gonna be more for her.
More for cash?
Yeah.
I know, I like the 80-20 split.
I know.
That makes sense.
I do not want to be in people's pocketbooks. Me personally, I have no interest in looking at Drama Kids financials.
But I don't know, like,
just
if she's
want to-
gonna, she's had to raise, she's a small business, one person. It's, she's gonna be paying more now.
As a part of this exercise, what we can do is when we give this new contract to the vendors, before it goes into effect in October. Is it October that I think they go into effect? Or vendor
Usually
contract?
July, but,
Usually July. Okay.
yeah, July 1st.
Okay. We can talk to them too to see if they have anything crazy about it. I mean, it's $20 an hour. It's for a lunch. That's not a lot. That's
It's not even a child's.
yeah. Essentially, she'd be paying. I mean, three children is what she'd be using for the thing, and plus she wouldn't have to waste the time in giving us all of her receipts and everything like that. She could just pay us a check and call it a day. So she's probably saving an hour just there getting the finances in order. And
I mean, she could also raise it $5.
That's
You
true
know what
as
I mean,
well.
to cover it.
I mean, so
Yeah.
I like the $20. I like the $20 an hour and have essentially a 2-hour minimum. So I mean, does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. Do I have a motion to approve a flat fee of $20 an hour with a 2-hour? Yes.
What if you get somebody that comes in wants a 2-hour time?
Then they get charged for 3 hours.
That's going to be spelled out in there.
Yeah. Well, that's what. So that. Yeah. Okay. I feel like we're going in circles right now. So it's $20 an hour, but you need to include every contract will include 30 minutes for setup and 30 minutes for breakdown. That has to be spelled out in the contract. That's why it's a 2-hour minimum. So they get an hour, and it always includes 30 and 30 at the back end of it. If it's something like 5 hours and it's not a recreation program that's approved by this commission, it goes under the $100 an hour of having an actual function over here. This is just for recreation programs.
Outside vendors.
This is for outside vendors that come.
Say I want a 2-hour time on the floor, there's not anything spelled out saying that it have to be an hour's.
Yes.
No, there will be. That will be in the contract. Yeah, that will be in the contract saying 30 minutes setup, 30 minutes breakdown.
Otherwise, if you another vendor, you have to go back to the drawing board and start, you don't have that in there.
Yeah, that should definitely be in there. I can make that clear with, we'll do that with Dory, and then if the board of selectmen have a question about that, so.
So it's $20 an hour and then $15 an hour.
Nope, just 20.
No, I mean, and then $15 for the half hour and the half hour.
No, just 20. Just $20 an hour per hour, but they need to have half hour before and half hour after, so.
So that's 1 hour.
So that's 1 hour that they need to add on to a
Plus their
single hour
event, so
event.
that's 2 hours.
Oh, okay, so you're saying, okay, I understand.
So it'll be $20 for everything, but they have to have a minimum of 2 hours for the half hour before, half hour after. Maddie?
I think we also need to make it clear that they know that that doesn't mean their event starts at half an hour, like they don't, because that's it's gonna keep building, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
that half an hour is for Caretaker to get here, to set up the event, to get everything started. It's not for you to show up at that time to start your event.
Yeah.
And it's
Yeah.
the purpose of us coming in early.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. I mean,
And
well.
your event has to end before that half hour.
Yeah, I mean, well, we have the same procedure when it comes to weddings, right? Like, I mean, they have a cutoff time that they need. They can't come here before. They can't be here after a certain time, right?
Yeah,
So,
I think this is new, so like, why
Yeah.
not stay with it too?
yeah, yeah. So it's $20 an hour, but they need to include a half hour for setup and a half hour for breakdown. So minimum of 2 hours is what it will be. So at $20 an hour. Does that make sense? Okay.
So for Kath, for Kath, she has it for 2 hours.
Right.
Technically.
So it would be 3.
So it would be 3 hours, so
Yeah.
$20 an hour, so $60.
So that'd be $60.
Yeah, because she has a half hour before and a half hour after.
Plus her event.
Plus her
Plus the
event.
2 hour event.
That sounds fair.
Okay. So do I have I'll entertain a motion to make the vendor hourly rate $20 an hour, which will include a 30-minute setup and a 30-minute breakdown at the end for a minimum of 2 hours.
So moved.
So moved by Melissa. Second by Sheila. Okay, all those in favor, Franks and I, Melissa,
Melissa, aye.
Sheila, and Caroline. That was a wild ride. Thank you, everybody. Okay. Okay, so vote on K&M communication proposal for security cameras. So this is a security camera. So where are these security cameras going? They're going in here and down at the Cove, or is it just in here?
So these security cameras are going to replace the cameras that we currently have up. They're going to take place of everything that's here, plus add on to the lodge here, and then the entranceway coming in. This is going under the town where all of the cameras now are being bought under this name, so we get a better deal for it. The good thing about this is that we get 30 days, for looking at the footage, where now we get 13 days. We get 30 days to look at the footage. We have the town accessing it. We don't go through flight alarm anymore.
Okay.
Before, any time we went through flight alarm, we had to pay for it to retrieve footage or anything that we needed to be done. This would be a one-time fee. The 3-year option, that includes the licensing, that's $19,380. We actually have $25,000 in the article, and that would be up to $5,000, which we would be able to spend again in 3 years for the 3-year license.
Okay.
So it's recommended by the town. It's under the town umbrella. If something were to happen, the town would call the detective and say, right now, look at the footage, you can't go on, and there's somebody trashing something in the north end or whatever. So it's immediate. So, and it's any upgrades we automatically get. Everything goes to the cloud. We don't have to pay for anything. We get state of the art for 3 years. So this is the way that the town is going, and we happen to have the money for the article.
So is there no cameras down at the Cove?
Well, yeah, there's a camera down at the Cove now, and that's a good point, because the other thing I wanted to bring up is that we would like to get the camera that's at the Cove, a camera in the south end, and a camera in the north end, just like the ones at the Cove. Now those costs, that's separate from this, those cost $300 a piece, but the town is willing to pay for that if we monitor it, and it's $40 a month. So it'd be $120 a month for us to have cameras at the Cove, cameras in the north end, and cameras in the south end, and you get alerts. And something like Roger put into the north end, and it was trashed, and the paper towel holder was pulled off, somebody forgot to lock the bathhouse, and it got trashed. The alert would go
So I guess my question is why wouldn't we just tie it in with this system?
But because it's a different system, because flight alarm is not part of this.
Yeah, so why wouldn't this proposal that has all these other cameras going up around that has this same functionality include the 3 cameras for the north, the south, and the cove?
Because he said it's not point to point. To do point to point, he said it's thousands, like, I think he said hundreds of thousands, maybe,
I get
thousands.
okay. So the question is who's going to monitor those cameras, right? So
The
like
3 extra ones?
the 3 extra ones that are on the side, right? So for example, if somebody's down there trashing the cove, right, and I have it, you
Yeah.
have it, and Roger has it, right?
I would have it, Roger would have it, Charlie Baker would have it, and Steve Moore would have it.
Okay.
And then we can send it to the police like that. So it's 2 separate things.
Okay.
This is the cameras
Stand.
going forward, the better quality, better cameras in better places. And the other one is just just getting some cameras from the north.
And this is coming out of the town meeting article, you said?
Yeah.
Okay. Melissa?
And this has nothing to do with the alarm system, correct?
Nothing. We would still have flight alarm for the alarm.
Does it have to work, do they have to work with this system? Do they have to work at all? But does this company have to,
No, flight will be independent of each other.
it can be separate?
Yeah.
Sheila?
Can you tell me what, the 3-year optional cameras there for the town store, where do those cover again? You said the entrance and
The entranceway, the lodge, right here.
Yeah.
The back deck, the entrance down, as you go down to the basement, if you're facing the lodge, to the left of the lodge, if you're facing the lodge to the right of the lodge, like the dumpster, then there's the parking lot and the driveway front.
This is a lot of cameras. This is 15 cameras across the whole thing, so there's a lot of
and
cameras.
it doesn't go to the.
No, it doesn't go down there. Roger?
One of the questions you asked, why doesn't it get connected to this one here? This one is almost maxed out as far as how many cameras you can have.
Okay.
So you have to replace this anyways.
Yeah, I wasn't asking why it's not connected here. What I was asking is why can't this system be used for the north, the south, and the cove? Like, why can't we get 3 additional cameras on this system to do those, so it's all tied in, so the police have access to it, so the whole town has access to it, right?
He said you'd have to have point to point, and it's thousands and thousands of dollars. He said, we could never do that.
Okay.
The only option to do the cove in the north end and the south end are those 3 remote cameras.
Okay. Okay. Does anybody have any other questions? This is not coming out of our budget, by the way. We had a town meeting article, I think it was 2018 or 2019.
Yeah.
I think it was, that gave us $50,000 to replacing the wiring and security cameras in the lodge. So this is coming out of that meeting article that we have to use. So it's not coming out of the budget.
And that would complete the article.
Well, it would deplete the article in 3 years if we renew for an additional 3 years, right?
Exactly.
Okay. So, do I have a motion to approve this security camera proposal?
So,
In the amount of-
sorry, one more question. So after 3 years, we would have to pay for the monitoring?
After 3 years, we pay another $5,000.
Yep.
So this price, the $19,380, that's the 3-year option that will take us up to 3 years. That's the licensing and everything.
And what happens after 3 years?
After 3 years, we pay $5,073.
And who pays
For
that?
another
The
3
town?
years.
Or
No,
us?
we would pay that.
We do.
We're paying this now.
Oh, we are?
Yeah, we're paying this now. We're just using the article money that we got for the security and the wiring to pay for it. So we're
Yeah.
paying for it now.
Got
And
it.
just coincidentally, we have that exact amount in that article.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
To pay this
Perfect.
and then in 3 years, 5,000.
Perfect.
Otherwise. we
Any
would-
questions? Sheila?
Oh,
Why?
because
It's too many cameras?
that's too much money.
It is. It's a lot. It is a lot of money. But it is 16 cameras, and it is something.
It's 16
It's actually-
cameras, all pointed at the same thing. Right around here.
It's,
Yeah.
it's actually 11 cameras.
11?
Replacing is 16.
Did I not count? I see 6 outdoor domes, 1 fisheye, 4 mini domes. That's 11, and I see furnished and installed 2 locations consisting of 1 category 6, so that's an additional 2, right? And then you got furnished and installed 2 CM4 1 indoor mini domes. I'm counting 16 there, or 15 there. unless they just worded it really bad.
Yeah, I don't know, he said 11, that's replacing the current 16.
Okay.
I mean, we don't have to do this.
Yeah, that's also an option too.
Don't go by me.
We also say.
Oh, hold on a minute. So the number one is installed 2 locations consisting of, it just looks like cabling. That doesn't look like cameras. So number
Okay.
2 is
Yeah, I
the
see that.
camera, that's 2. Number 3 is 6, so that's 8, right? 9 is number 4. And then number 5. So there's only 11, right?
11.
Am I counting that right?
He said 11, yeah.
13. Right?
Not 13, but I don't want to say anything.
13. That's what it says on here.
And then you don't have to pay anything else ever again, whereas flight alarm, when they come out to retrieve the footage, we have to pay.
So this includes their service contract.
Yeah, and any upgrades, we get to get it automatically.
And this company came out and looked and walked the grounds and figured out how many cameras, because I'm assuming that a camera only has a certain radius. Like they can only get a certain angle, you know what I mean?
Well,
They came out.
and that's the thing where he said, right now we have 16, but 16 is unnecessary because you have one camera going like this and one camera going like this, when you can have one camera going like that.
Right.
So it's just a better system, it's a better quality, it's in keeping with the towns, they have it in town hall, they're doing it in other,
Yeah.
departments. So, that's that.
Tori,
Sheila?
can you explain after 3, is it every 3 years we pay like another 5,000 for it?
Yes.
Okay, every 3, it's
Yes.
this, to have it all installed, all done, goes for 3 years,
Yeah.
and then every 3 years.
Yes,
It's
for the
like- it's a fee.
license.
Yeah,
Yes.
and that's very common in those
That's
things as
the
well.
license.
So that's the monitoring
That's
that
the
that's the
license.
support. It's essentially a maintenance contract for those
Yeah.
cameras. So every 3 years it'd be $5,000. It'd be
Oh wow, this is
Having the
great.
sound turned down.
think about
It's live. I'm looking at the Cape Grove right now. That's pretty clear. Look at that show.
Oh, I know, I have cameras.
That's
In
crazy.
my entire, in my, boxes and all that.
Yeah, yeah.
I paid $600 and we have the whole place on this building. This is insane to me.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's
nice. Yeah, that's good. Yes, yeah, Charlie Baker showed me that. Okay, do I have a motion to either approve or deny this request?
I'll motion to approve.
Okay, Melissa motions to approve. Do I have a second? Caroline will second. Okay, all those in favor? Frank, aye. Melissa?
Aye.
Sheila?
Aye.
Caroline? Awesome.
Thank you.
Great. So that's that. What else do we have? Okay, we got one more thing, 2 more things, 3 more things. Okay, so update wage and personnel for a special town meeting. Okay, so I have a copy of the wage and personnel over here, so I'm just going to read them off, and then we can go through and figure out which ones we want to ask the town to adjust. So we have Camp Quaney Caretaker. The current rate right now is from $14 to $20 an hour. I'm sorry, the current rate right now is $14.50 to $20 an hour. Do we want to adjust that to be a different rate?
When was the last time this was? Wasn't
This was adjusted last year. It was adjusted at last town meeting because it was brought up from $14 to $14.50 last year, but still to $20.
What's minimum wage?
Minimum wage is going to be 15 as of January something. But I didn't know if we wanted to make the top end more. Do we want to make the top end more, or do we want to just change it from 15 to like 22? Do we want to change it from 15 to? I'm just trying to, yeah. So 15.50 to 20.
Oh, doesn't it like it sounds good when it's a little bit above minimum wage?
It does, but I don't think we can do that.
Well, you start at minimum wage.
I think we have to start at it because if we did 15.50, that means that everybody would have to. We'd have to start everybody at 15.50, and anybody who makes less than 15.50 at the October meeting would have to be bumped up to make 15.50. Yeah, I mean we could do that, but it's just it's gonna okay. So does anybody want to adjust the back end range of the 20, or do we want to keep it at 20
for a caretaker?
for a caretaker? That's fine if we don't. I'm just okay. I'll take that as a new, unless somebody says otherwise. So the next one that we have is let's see, the Camp Quaney event planner. It's from $14.50 to $17 an hour. We originally listed this at $22 an hour. With the 1,000, like with the 19 and a half hours, it was originally 22 that we put in for the budget. So I would like to, actually, you know what? There's actually two of them in here, so. I'm just trying to figure out that. I actually can't. I'm not even gonna talk about that one. I have to abstain from that one because I know Renee, so I'm not gonna do that. So we'll go to Y, which is the facilities manager. You could take over for the other one before, after that one, the event planner.
Yeah.
Okay. So for the facilities manager, there's two things I want to do on here. First, I want to rename the facilities manager to be the Camp Quaney facilities manager, so everybody gets the idea, and I want to put it down to an hourly range from the 15 to 22 an hour.
Sorry, what was the proposal?
The proposal was for the facilities manager
Yep.
to rename this section Y
Yep.
as Camp Quaney facilities manager,
Yep.
right? And then right now it's currently from 20,000 to 45,000 is the range. I want to make that an hourly range from 15 to 22 to make it match the other position. So
make it an hourly
correct,
instead of salary.
correct. And then there is the beach director, which is from $14.50 to $20 an hour. Does anybody have a number they think that should be at?
So are we automatically raising the minimum to 15 because that's rate?
We don't have to raise it on here, but we're gonna have to raise it anyway after
Right.
January, whatever it is for the minimum wage. So we don't have to raise it on here from 15, but if we're gonna change it, we might as well change it to the minimum on here anyway.
That's what yeah.
So, I mean, if that's the case, then we might as well just change it to be the
Yeah.
15.
Is that the person that like hires all the lifeguards and stuff?
Yeah, the beach director would essentially run the programs down. They hire the lifeguards, they do, classes, whatever they need to do. So does anybody have a range that they want to be changed at? And these ones right here are all for preparation for next year because we're going to have to start hiring for these positions in January and February if we want to hire for them. And if they don't get approved at the October town meeting, the ranges that you see here, which are pretty abysmal, will be the ones that we have to advertise for. We can't advertise for more. So, does anybody have a proposal?
I mean, I think the beach director, given that we haven't had a beach director, we've had to close the beach for the last 2 or 3 years. I feel like we need to get somebody qualified to get this beach going again. I'd like to propose at least a max of 25. Maybe do
Okay.
15 to 25
Okay.
to get somebody at least in there to get the program running again.
Okay, so what I'll do is I'll go through and I'll write all of these down, and then what we'll do is we'll just make one motion for all of them at the same time, and I'll go through them before we make the motion for it. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. So water safety instructor. I don't know what that is. I think that would be the beach director and the lifeguards, right? I mean, I'm not sure if there's
no idea. I've never had since I've been here. We've never.
Okay. So we can put. I mean, we're not going to hire anybody that's for 16 anyway. Do you want to? You know what we can do? We can set the. Does anybody have an issue with setting these seasonal positions that are here at Camp Quaney? So that'd be A, B, C, F, G, and H, right? And this, I'm sorry. Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. You guys don't have the same paper.
So A, B, and C is beach director, the safety water instructor, and the lifeguards.
And then the
Concession worker, recreation assistant, and security. Oh, so gate attendants. So that would be the. It's a line item.
it's a line item. We don't actually have it right
Yeah,
now.
we no.
I would
We
like
have the
to.
gate attendants, the beach director, and the lifeguards. That's who I think that's.
I personally think that all of these should just be a range between 15 and 25. And we don't have to hire them for 25 if we don't want to, but we could say 15 to 25 is the range. If we find a lifeguard, they'll do for 20, but this way we don't have to go, next year and redo the same thing. So, okay. Does that make sense? Thank you. Okay, so let me do this in one go, see if I can get it done. We're not changing the caretaker. Caretaker's staying the same. Okay. Actually, you know what? I mean, we can do the caretaker also, right? Does anybody have an issue with the caretakers going from 15 to 25 in that range? No? Okay. So I will entertain a motion to change the wage and personnel pay for the Camp Quaney caretakers from 15 to 25 is the range. The Camp Quaney facilities manager from 15 to 25. The beach director from 15 to 25. Water safety inspector 15 to 25. Lifeguards 15 to 25. Concession worker 15 to 25. Recreation assistants 15 to 25. And security and gate attendant from 15 to 25. And what I can do is once I update this, I'll send it out so everybody has the same picture that's on there. But is anybody going to entertain that motion or move that motion? Sorry.
Oh, sorry, and did you add? You're changing the name of the facilities manager.
Oh yeah, and we will also add the name of the facilities manager on this to be the Camp Quaney facilities manager.
Yep.
So I have a
So moved.
so moved by Melissa. Do I have a second? Sheila. Awesome. And then all those in favor, Franks and I. Melissa.
Aye.
Sheila. Okay. The next one is I'm going to.
Oh, yep.
Yep. So that would be if it was approved at. Well, I think didn't we already approve the $15? We approved the $15.
We did.
We approved it. I think last meeting we approved that all caretakers should be at $15 an hour. As of.
No, they went up from 14 to 14.50. That's what you approved at the last meeting. From 14 to 14.50.
I don't think we did. I think we approved the 15.
And then the other caretakers that were not at minimum wage went up the same amount.
And that was effective July 1st? We did that, or was that effective at the vote? Okay.
But January 1,
No.
minimum wage was up $15.
So,
All right, so here are the minutes. Caretaker rate increase, we will move forward with the increase to $15 an hour. Motion by Flanagan to increase the caretaker per hour rate to $15, seconded by Morse. Voted 4-0.
so it should be everybody makes a base of $15 an hour. And then anybody who was over $15 an hour would make the 50-cent increase from what it was before. So everybody should be base making $15 an hour.
Okay, because right now they went from 14 to 14.50, which is minimum wage, and then everybody else went 30 cents. That was over minimum wage. Any caretaker went up the same amount.
No, because we had that discussion because it was changing in January.
It was changing in January
Yeah,
anyway.
well,
So
Okay.
yeah,
All right.
the discussion that we had was I wanted them to get the $15 because this is the busy season for the caretakers, so they're not going to really get effect of it in January. I wanted them to be able to get it from July 1st, the $15 an hour, so they get that extra. It's not a lot, but it's
Yeah.
50. It's 50 cents extra from what they have,
Yeah.
not the
Okay.
$14.50. Okay, so we had that. We took a motion on that. So can you take X? I'm going to abstain from the event planner because I know Renee. So
Oh, okay. So this is Camp Quaney event planner. So this is Renee's position. The first column is what? Is Frank? What's the first column?
it's the second column.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So currently it is at $14.50 to $17 an hour.
I think it should just be the same as everyone else.
I'm sorry.
Uh,
What was her title?
Camp Quaney event planner. So we should do 15. Just do it 15 to 25. Just the same as the other one.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So motion. I'll accept a motion to approve the Camp Quaney event planner to $15 from the range from $50 to $25.
Second.
I second.
Melissa, aye.
Sheila, aye.
Caroline, aye.
Okay.
Thank you. Okay, so I abstain from that vote. Thank you, Dory. Okay, so nothing else in there. That's fine. So We had a long meeting, I'm sorry. So, does anybody have any old business or correspondence? There actually is one correspondent. I'm sorry, were you going to bring up the same one I was going to bring up? I was going to bring up the holly trees.
No.
No,
go
okay,
ahead.
okay.
I was
So
gonna say
the gentleman who perpetrated the heinous crime of cutting down the holly trees has sent us a letter of apology about doing it after he was spoken to. I can't necessarily go into detail about who it was or why they did it, but I was at so that was the correspondent there. I could send that out. Did we send that out to everybody? I don't think we did, right?
No, because it was an executive session, Board of Selectmen meeting, so.
Okay.
then
Okay.
we have to
Okay.
minutes and have it released.
Okay. So we did get a letter of apology. Is simply what it was. So anyway, okay. And then any other correspondence?
Is there a plan to replace? Do we have any ideas?
I think they're growing back.
Oh,
Are they growing back?
Some of them are going back a little bit, some of them replace this fall, like some candidates and ones.
cool.
Getting more intense on.
Okay. Awesome. Okay. Dory?
Mr. Chairman, if I could go back to submission of town meeting articles.
Mhm.
I think we'll need to supplement our budget, moving forward, so we're in good shape, and we have $135,000 in our retained earnings going forward to town meeting, October town meeting, which is excellent, seeing that a year ago we had 58 cents. So we are moving on up.
Yep.
And our busiest months are yet to come, September and October, so we're really doing good. So anyway, we have a bill that we hadn't planned on, it's $39,000 for the insurance, because we found out that we were never insured. We were insured for property loss, but not for anything else. So that's $39,000, so we would have to pay. And I want to do a real hard look at the salaries and just see if we need to supplement any salary line items also. So I would ask you for a motion to put on the town meeting warrant an article to supplement our current budget, A, for the insurance, and B, for any salary or expense that we need to do before October.
So, okay. So there's two parts to that. So one part is how much do you think we should supplement?
Well, I know for a fact we need to supplement $39,000 for the insurance, because we were not expecting that, so that's a definite. The other thing I'd like to, wanted to talk to you about too, was we met with a landscaper, we talked about doing a project out here, maybe planting maple and birch trees, maybe putting in an article for that, which wouldn't be CPC funds, it would be from our retained earnings. And thirdly, I would like to look at the salary. If you look at the budgets, we have $53,000 left in the caretaker salary, and last year we spent $57,000, so we may need to supplement that too. But I'll get higher numbers on that. I don't have those. I wasn't able to get those at this time. So I think just a motion to supplement, to put many articles, we may need to supplement our budget.
So I'm confused because if we expended $57,653 and we have a budget for camp staff at $62,000, that's a $5,000 increase in wages for the camp staff, right? Is that what I'm seeing here? Because last year we expended $57,653. This year, our total budget for camp staff is $62,000, $5,000 increase.
Yep.
So I'm
Well, because last year we weren't able to have the caretakers do anything, we had no money, so I just want to look at it. I mean, we're typically running around $1,500 a week for the caretaker salary. If you look at it, we have 47 weeks left to go. So I have to look at it, but I want to, because the article, if we do submit an article for town meeting, it's due a week from tomorrow.
So what do we have? What do we have right now? So in cash right now in the camp that we have, it's the $86,000 that we have to carry forward balance is what we brought over from last fiscal year. Is it?
The $86,000, that was the carry forward. So right now, certified funds that we can use for us in town meeting is
Yeah.
$135,000.
Okay, but they just approved it. But but last town May town meeting for fiscal year 23, they already approved $260,000, right?
Where's the
So the original budget from the May town meeting was $224,000 is the total enterprise fund from May town meeting, which if you look on the budget here, it's the 224.
Yep.
So you're saying that on top of this 224, we have an additional retained earnings of 120,
35,000.
130, so that would bring our budget up to $360,000.
But it doesn't work that way. It's just that that's in our retained earnings, and it will keep coming, and then we'll have it again at the May town meeting. It's money that we can access if we need to. And we're gonna need to access $39,000 because we just got a bill for insurance that we were never insured, and now we are, and it's our responsibility. And, I wanna look at the salaries and see if we need to supplement that as well. And I don't know if you have an appetite to spend some money on putting some trees out in front of the lodge. So anyway, this is the time to do it at the fall town meeting. Otherwise, we don't get a chance until spring, until the May town meeting.
Can we talk about the insurance for a minute?
Yeah.
We're responsible for,
Yeah.
so we pay our own insurance, it's nothing for the town,
We
correct?
pay our own $39,000. And we were never insured. We were insured for loss, but we weren't insured for casualty property. We were insured for loss from our property casualty, workers' comp.
Right.
Nothing. We were never insured. We didn't find this out until the town just went to Maya. And that came to light, and then we just got a bill for $39,000 that we didn't budget for.
And that's for, what is that for the year?
Yeah, that's for the year. But it's gotta be paid now.
Right.
So, I mean, that's just, that's what our retained earnings are for,
Mm-hmm.
to be able to do that. And we're fortunate that we have that. We're not gonna lose it, it's not going anywhere.
Yeah.
Any other questions? Concerns? No? I definitely, me personally, I'm definitely not gonna ask the town for money for birch trees. I think that should come from somewhere else.
No, we're not asking the town, we're using our own funding.
Oh, we're using our own funding for it. Oh, okay, so we're not
Yeah.
asking free cash.
No,
Oh, okay.
No.
I misunderstood
It's
then.
our own
Okay.
earnings that we have.
Okay.
We have, right now, we have $135,000 that we can say, I want some birch trees, I want some
Yeah,
maple trees.
and it's coming
I
out
need
of our
40
budget.
grand,
Okay.
Right.
Because we gotta pay for our insurance.
Okay.
Right.
And we need another $5,000 in salary.
Okay.
I don't know, maybe
Okay.
we do, maybe we don't, but it's our money.
Yeah, no,
We're
that
not
makes
asking
sense.
the
I'm
town
sorry, I
for
misunderstood. I thought we were asking the town for additional money, and I was like,
no.
this doesn't make sense to me, because we have this amount,
Oh,
and we have
right.
additional 130, why would we ask the town for more
Right.
money? Okay, no, that makes
we're
sense.
in a very
Okay,
good spot right now.
Okay.
So it's just how we want to use it in the fall, because we won't get another chance until May.
okay. So this is, that being the case, so we need 39,000, we need, what, so
Yeah.
let's call it 40K for the insurance. And then how much do you think we need for, salaries?
I haven't gotten to that yet. I haven't had a chance to do it. I'm thinking maybe $5,000, but I don't know. I need to take some more time to get to that point. And
Okay.
then as far as the trees, we haven't got anything back yet from Ed Sheehan.
Okay.
What that would cost. I mean, last
Do we
time-
need a town meeting article to spend that retained earnings on trees? We need a town meeting article for that?
Yeah, because they're certified funds. So right now, we can spend what's in our budget.
Okay.
And that's what town meeting has approved. So we don't have an extra $7,500 to spend on birch trees.
Okay.
We don't have.
So question for me, why wouldn't we just put all the retained earnings into the, if we have 130K, why wouldn't we just put it all in here so we can use all of it for the remainder of the year?
You could.
So why wouldn't we put, 30K into salaries and wages, 100K into operating expenses, and then call it, so we can just use it for the whole, because it's not like if we don't use it, we lose it.
We don't
It will
lose
go
it.
to the next year.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
We could supplement the
Yeah.
budget with all of it.
Yeah, I would just do that. If we have the money there, then I would supplement the whole, I would just put it right back into our budget. I mean, that's what we're
Because then we
supposed
know,
to do anyway.
then they're real numbers.
Yeah, then they're actual
Right.
numbers. And then, and we could we can put, 100K into operating expenses and the additional 30 into wages and salaries. And then we can just kind of spread them out evenly through the operating
need it.
expenses as we need it.
And then it just rolls into May.
Correct.
And let me double check that with the town council.
Yeah, can you,
That's-
yeah, okay,
that's
so,
the way to go.
okay, so on that front, when you're checking with the town accountant, because we're not gonna meet until September, we need to have an article in before that.
Yeah.
So I will entertain a motion, does everybody feel comfortable with that proposal?
Can I
Okay,
ask a silly question about the trees?
Sure.
I'm not a number person, something like that.
Yeah.
But is this, I'm assuming there's a big septic, is that in the front of?
septic. So
That's a,
So there wouldn't be any concern about trees.
there was trees there before. So yeah, there were trees there before that got. There were trees there before. That's all I'm going to say. So yeah, there were trees there before. So okay. So I will entertain a motion to supplement $40,000 into the salaries and wages total from our retained earnings, and then supplement an additional $100,000 from our operating expenses to supplement the remaining retained earnings that we have into our operating expenses. So if it's 101, 102, something like that. So let me just repeat that because I don't know what's going on with me tonight. I'm so sorry. So I will entertain a motion to supplement $40,000 for the retained earnings from the retained earnings into our salaries and wages total, and then the remaining balance of our retained earnings into the operating expenses total, and submit that article for the special town meeting pending town accountant approval.
So moved.
So moved. Okay. Do I have a second for that? Second. Okay. Great. Fantastic. So Frank's and I, Melissa.
Yes, I.
Sheila? And Caroline. Awesome. Okay. Is there anything else from that? The old business? Okay. Awesome. I'm sorry, Dory. Yes. Just 1 second. I just want to say I'm sorry. I misunderstood what you were telling me. I thought you were asking. Us to ask the town for more. Yes. Yeah. So yeah, I was like, I gotta write my will for the kids and everything. My life insurance is up to date. That's good. Go ahead, Caroline.
Do we know if the CPC meeting in July addressed our application for the gatekeeper's common insurance that we requested?
That is a good question. That is a good question. I don't know. I will check with the chair of CPC. Just on that note as well, we met with me, Dory, and Roger met with the landscaper down at the Cove. So we did that 2 Fridays ago before I went on vacation, and he came out, took a bunch of measurements. He's going to give us a quote and a design for it, and everything like that for the CPC. So once that's good, then I would really like to start pushing for that, because it can't be done this year. It's going to have to be done next fall is when we'll have to do it if we get the CPC and everything. So hopefully that would be approved at the May town meeting of next year if we can get that done, so we can have it lined up and everything ready to go. So yeah, there's a lot of space over there that needs to be used. So this.
Want me to reach out to, I should have asked while this was here, but to see if that was discussed, or is there somebody I should?
Yeah, you can reach out if you'd like. Yeah, I think it's still Tim Hickey. Tom Hickey is the chair for that. If you need me to reach out for you, just let me know.
I think we have an email going.
Okay.
Yeah, let me know if I can do that as well tomorrow.
Awesome. Anything else on the old business? No? Okay. Team reports. Anything for the team? I mean, we kind of already discussed the budget. Anything like that? No? Okay, awesome. Departmental update, Dory?
That's it. No,
Okay.
I don't have anything extra. Thank you.
Fantastic. Caretaker reports. Maddie?
Bunch of random stuff. Do we have any info of like when the Wi-Fi is going to go off, it gets password and have, like, so we had an issue in an event where, because you have to bypass a wall to get through it, we had someone with a photo booth who couldn't get their system to like go into the next thing, because like on it, we used to have it like a vendor Wi-Fi and internal Wi-Fi, which is for the system, and like guest Wi-Fi that we would host, so people could like use Wi-Fi while they're in here.
Yeah.
And I know we're on like a limited thing where like we only can give guest Wi-Fi to like TJs and stuff right now, because we're supposed to like keep it very limited and they have to use it. But what happens is when you jump into Wi-Fi, it sends you to a portal to put in a password. But because some of their systems are set up to like get through to the next portal, they can't use the Wi-Fi in our systems when it comes to like photo booths and stuff.
I think that's, I'm sorry, go ahead, Dory.
No. So the Wi-Fi we got was from the IT director.
Yeah.
To only use that one.
Yeah.
So that's giving you a problem, that
Yeah.
one?
Yeah,
I'll let them know tomorrow.
it makes sense. It's
Firewall thing, right?
no, it's not really a firewall. It's more of terms of service, kind of. So when you log into it, it says, you can't look up whatever you're going to look up on the internet, right? And you have to click accept, and then it tracks everything that you're doing. So I don't know if that's a requirement for the municipality to have that or not. But if there should be a way for him to. I mean, there's a way for him to turn it off. I know that for a fact. But
If there's any time period where we're going to eventually get Wi-Fi for the guests, or if that's never going to happen.
I'm confused. Why is it limited? Why is the Wi-Fi limited in here?
The IT director said that because before the password that we gave out, we gave them internal controls to everything into the town, which is like a big no-no. So this password that he set up is just for guests coming in that can use it, and that doesn't infiltrate our system. The other way was infiltrating our system, and people could hack anything, because they were getting right in. So this is a new password that he set up for that reason, but I'll call tomorrow if it's causing problems.
Yeah, can you just ask them to open up for the guests that are here at the camp? I don't know if that, and you could CC me on the email if you want to figure it out, but we need to have Wi-Fi here for the people that are actually using the camp, right? Because there's not good service here.
Oh, right.
So,
that was
you know.
that was supposed to happen with that password, but I guess it's not.
I mean, there should be a guest public network here that
Right.
people can use and to get there.
Yeah.
The vendor one and stuff like that, that's a little bit different, but go ahead, Maddie.
Well, because we were told we can't give the guest one to guests, we only allowed to give it to vendors for now.
I-
So we've only been giving it to like DJs and vendors and stuff, because we were told we can't give it to guests yet, we're waiting for like a future guest one. But can we give this one to guests?
I wouldn't give it to guests until, I'm not the IT director.
I don't know, I'll check with him tomorrow.
And just if we ever do get a guest one, can we maybe make the password less intense? It's like, it's got like 20 numbers and letters in it, it's like this long. Even for the DJs, they like handwrite it and stand next to them, they usually have to take like 2 times to get into it,
Yeah.
it's just so complex.
I understand where he's coming from, because it is a municipality. You don't want people, but there's like we're a business here essentially, so we need to have Wi-Fi for people to use. That's not crazy.
Yeah, we
That's
used to have like
responsible.
3 different chunks. We had ones that literally said internal, vendor, guest.
Yeah.
But we never had a password to the guest one. And we never had a password to the vendor one. We only had the internal, which is why we had to give the internal, because DJs have to use Wi-Fi. And then we got the guest one, so we'd be giving them that. But we don't have the internal one, but now we're waiting for a guest one, so we can give them something. Because we've been telling them like we don't have guest Wi-Fi, even though it literally pops up as CK guest, and we can't give them the password. So it's a little awkward.
We need to have a Wi-Fi system here for it. So if you could CC me on the email, and I can walk them through it if he wants. Matt, do you have anything else?
And then it's just because now we have the new tech guy. Way before we had him, I looked at something. I think I talked to Frank about this like way back, maybe Dory. This one Dory was gone for that week, and we were subbing in for her. And I called Verizon and asked if there was a way to get different phone. Like when you call the phone, it says press 1 to leave a message, press 2 for directions, press 3 for hours. Because Renee said that your machine gets locked up with people literally going, what's the code hours? And they leave a message, and the machine's full of messages, just like hours messages. But he said that we're capable of doing that, the Verizon guy. But because we're a town entity, the tech person has to be involved, and we didn't have a tech person then. But just like throw it back out to the radar, we're already now in contact with him. That'd be something worth doing where I can unplug Dory and Renee's voicemail with random things that just are hours.
Or get a second phone line.
Yeah,
And have
second
like
phone line.
two phone lines going, so like you guys.
Yeah.
But that's a good point, because I called Verizon about that also. That's what Verizon told me when I called them too. I was like, can we do? They're like, you can do it. It's just you can't do it. So okay, and I couldn't either. I'm like, okay, then I guess that's fine.
And not only
Okay.
that, I think it would free up a little bit of their time with,
With
some
craziness.
questions that can be answered with an automated, message.
Yep.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Okay. Anything else, Maddie?
Sorry. We just
No, that's okay.
So a lot of guests have been coming to us saying that it's fire started for them, and we're getting the hits, like the fire kit started, which is fine, except for that we don't have fire start kits, so we're kind of like running around scavenging for things to like fill up to be able to like select fire. So I'm just wondering if we can add it. I don't know if this had to go through you guys, but like add it to our supplies that we can start ordering fire kits if we're going to be required to start fires for the guests when they're here, because we don't have anything to start.
So you're talking like the little like wax things that start fires, or like what?
I guess anything that doesn't have to be super expensive, but just something that like we're not like running around looking for twigs on the ground.
Start saving on my dryer mint and wait for
I mean, I think they sell those at Ace. I'm pretty sure they sell like those fire starters at Ace and stuff like that.
Just see if we can like make it part of our exercise.
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense. That's a reasonable request. Just put it somewhere where it's not going to like do too much damage. Oh, do they?
Yes, I use less.
Cardinal Cushing does that? They make fire starter. Yeah. Did you just volunteer to do that?
I will.
Oh, awesome. So Caroline said that Cardinal Cushing does fire starting kits like that, so she's going to reach out to him. Perfect. Fantastic. It's probably so that you just don't have to see me. It's for the better. Yeah.
so packed at 6 still because the sun doesn't start setting until now. So even if you guys changed it to like 7, by this point everyone's left to the beach. But so many times we've gone down at 6 o'clock to close the beach and you have to like interrupt, 40 people who are still sitting there.
Yep.
But sometimes during weddings we can't get there in time, so when we get down there later, it's dead and there's no one there. So I don't know if it's worth just putting it on your radar for next year to change the hours, make them a little later in the summer. Just 'cause
Well, I think it'll be better when we have a beach director.
So
and
that
things
that's
are more operational.
I completely agree with what you're saying. I think we
Yeah.
definitely should, because I know that like Megan and the kids were down there a couple nights ago, and they, like a week ago actually, and they were, it was like 5:30 or something like that, and they were like, man, we could stay out here for another 2 hours, So yeah, no, I definitely agree with you.
Yeah.
But that's something that a beach director could definitely do, and we kind of get the season going, for next year.
You know what helps? I just stand on the sand and yell shark.
Yeah.
hey, the beach is closing.
Yeah.
It's really awkward because the million people still there.
No, I just lock them.
I just lock them and just tell them to go around.
I make an
Yeah.
announcement. The code closes at 6,
Yeah.
just so you know I'm locking this
Yeah.
gate.
Yeah.
It's always awkward. You start closing the gate and someone's like, ooh, it's happening. And you're like, okay.
So that brings up another point. So there has been a couple times, and I'm guilty of it too, don't get me wrong, where I forgot to lock the gate. Right, and I didn't realize I was on the schedule. I forgot to lock the gate, and the fire chief, the fire lieutenant came down and he said, if you guys are going to keep the beach open later, if you check the schedule and you see that you're supposed to lock the gate and you can't, just send a message. If you notice it early in the day, send a message to Dory. If not, send a message to me, and I'll go ahead and lock the gate because I'm right up the road anyway. I work from home pretty much every day except for Wednesdays, so I can come lock the gate. But we just got to make sure that we don't have little hoodlums running around there at 7 o'clock at night, and the fire chief's going to yell at us. Back to old business. Dory, did we talk to the fire chief about the Santa breakfast?
I sent an email. I
Okay.
haven't heard anything back, but I
Okay.
did. Yep.
Okay. I'm going to have to go knock on the firehouse door for that one. Okay. So
The other thing too, sorry about the Cove. What's the last day? Because we don't have
September
it.
11th is the last day, but I could be wrong.
that was the last day. Yeah.
Was
Yep,
it?
That was September 11th was the last day. Yep.
Okay, I just want to make sure that. Okay.
Yep. Okay. Roger. Nope, sorry. Oh, Matt. Oh, you're not done, Maddie? Oh, I'm sorry. I thought you were done. I'm sorry, Maddie. I thought you were done. My fault.
This is a really random question, but I've been scheduling someone to stay for Girl Scouts every month, and they haven't been coming. Do we know if Girl Scouts is going to consistently keep coming every second Tuesday of the month?
No.
Okay, I'm just going to delete that quick calendar. Okay, that was just a random question off the top of my head. And then, can we potentially make a policy in regards to like wedding stuff in the building previous to events? Only because we've had some weddings that have brought their stuff in advance on like a Friday, and it's not that like I'm just wondering if they'll find a place to put them or a location, but it's also now not fair because you have the first wedding of the week. You get privileged to leave your stuff in the building, and like Saturday and Sunday weddings don't get that same privilege to leave your stuff in the buildings. So I'm just wondering if we can make some kind of procedure, whether it's you can't leave your stuff, or if we can we like designate it and then tell them a time that they can come, like during the rehearsals, you can bring your stuff and we can keep a place. I just feel bad because sometimes like the Friday stuff I see it here, and then like the Saturday and Sunday they didn't get the privilege to like bring their stuff in advance.
Okay.
So
I thought it was like it was like absolutely no for everybody. I thought it was
no,
something.
there's a policy for leaving stuff. There's not a policy for bringing stuff before. So would you rather have the policy nobody can bring anything early? Is that what you?
You guys want to figure that whole situation? I don't know what's easier.
Well, I mean, but I guess the question is, you guys are the ones doing the event. You guys are the ones that are facilitating the stuff going somewhere. So is it too much of a pain to have them leaving stuff here early, or is it more of a you don't really mind, you just need a spot to put it all?
Where would you suggest?
Yeah, and where would you suggest?
It's not as easy. Like the Fridays are easy because they're like, or Saturday for the first one. They'll like leave it in the library because there's no one here and it won't matter because they'll show up. It's the other 2 days of the week that become an issue. Like we don't want to leave them in the office and like bulk up the office because we can't leave anything in there, and like we can't leave. We don't have a lot of storage space in the building to like leave things. The only options we would have would be like, I guess the attic or the craft cabin, but they're both not heat regulated. Like the attic is 100 degrees and the craft cabin's pretty hot, so they worry if they left things and then it potentially melts. I only worry about like messing their stuff. That's
Okay.
the only concern. Or things going missing.
Well, that's
But I just want like to be fair among all of them. That's my only thing.
Okay.
Well, that's my whole thing. Like, that's my whole, like, the security issue. Like, if something happens, they're going to be like, all right, well, where's my centerpieces? They're missing, and now they're going to blame us. That's like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's why. Yeah, that's why. So,
I think we should just.
okay, so, any more discussion about that before I entertain? Okay, so I'll entertain a motion to make a policy in the wedding rentals to say that you cannot, I don't know how to say it, you cannot leave stuff
Pre-event.
pre-event, right?
Pre-event storage.
There's no pre-event storage. There's no pre-event storage. And that should be on all contracts, everything like that. Dory?
Just so you know, on a case-by-case basis, like sometimes we'll get a call on a Thursday night, she's coming here for the reception, for the rehearsal, and the wedding's on a Friday, and it would just help her out greatly if she could put the cake in the fridge. You know,
I think that's different though.
Yeah, I think so. Then I can say yes, of course. That's
Yeah.
fine. It's the responsibility is we're not responsible for it. If the cake falls
Yeah.
and you lose your cake, and they're cool with that, rather than bringing it back and then those instances they're far and few between. But just that we have the latitude to say, yeah, that's fine.
Okay, so how about we do this then? I will entertain a motion to make a policy that there is no pre-event storage of wedding items unless pre-approved by the event coordinator. Does that sound good? Work for you?
Yeah, I just want to take care of all of that.
Okay, yeah, no, I think that's what it is, yeah. So, I think that probably the most fairest option, because there is situations where somebody's like, if they have their rehearsal on a Thursday and they're the only wedding on Friday, I don't see that as being an issue because they were already here on Thursday, like, and they're kind of doing
Right, I was thinking, like, if there are two more weddings down the line, it's not fair that the Friday wedding got struck for some advance. And
Yeah.
Saturday, Sunday, they get that same privilege. That's the only thing, I just didn't know if you think that's going to work.
Okay, yep, okay. So, can I get a motion on that, or?
Sure, so moved.
So moved, thank you. Do I get a second? Second, okay. All those in favor, Frank? Aye.
Melissa, aye.
Sheila? Caroline? Okay. Problem solved, Maddie. you have anything else? You good? Okay, Roger.
All right, this past week, Jen was here by herself, and during the thunderstorm, and we actually got hit by lightning.
Oh, we did?
We did.
Jen didn't get hit by lightning, right? Okay.
Yeah, which happened, I cleaned up a little bit afterwards, but,
Okay, yeah.
we had two fuses in telephone poles to let go, and if people didn't know, the phone lines were down for a few days. They fried down at the end, past the frontier, but next to the first house on Woodman Terrace.
Okay.
I think we got our phones back today.
Saturday.
Did they come back Saturday? Okay, good. Talking with them, they may send Lewis Truck Company, Lewis Tree Company up here and do some trimming. So if you see some Lewis Truck Companies up here, trim trees. I did not hire them, we did not hire them, but they're here to take care of their wires.
Okay.
Just
Makes
so
sense.
in case you get a complaint from anybody.
Okay.
Waiting to hear back. I've applied for using $19,000 out of our CPC fund.
For the cabins, correct? The CPC fund for the cabins?
Cabins.
Okay.
I can.
Yeah, I was about to say, you gotta be specific about that one.
I gave Dory a whole list, and she
Okay.
sent it forward to see if we can get approved.
okay.
You
So,
show it?
yep. So just for people who don't know, we had an existing article from CPC about the north, was it north or the south?
No.
North side cabins to get fixed up. So that's the money that Roger's talking about. Go ahead,
In
Roger.
short, I'm not going to give you the small details, but what we want to do is we want to put the wooden shutters on all the cabins down there. Repaint the entire bathhouse down there.
Okay.
Replace all 10 toilets.
Okay.
We're constantly replacing parts in them. Different latchings, hooks, and stuff like that. I've set aside $6,000 to try and get some fill in there to stop having such water issues down there during the heavy rain. So we can hear back and we get approved to do all that.
Okay. So you got to be very careful about those CPC funds, because if they're earmarked specifically for the cabins,
Correct.
and if it's the cabins, not the bathhouse or not the stuff around it. So, I don't know what they'll say about that, but the bathhouse might not be a part of that CPC funding that you have there. It might just specifically be the cabins.
That's what we said.
Okay.
the approval or the denials. The old insurance case with the cabin, that building is structurally built.
Awesome.
They put the roof on today, tonight, might be completed. So we'll have that done soon.
Awesome.
I may be back looking for funds to assist in putting a ramp in there and maybe some fill in there. Still trying to get fill for free.
Okay.
We'll see where that goes. We've got the check for all the new insurance stuff, so we're starting moving forward with doing the repairs on that. So all total, give or take a few dollars, I'm working with $157,000.
Must be nice. Wish I had that much money to spend.
What's that?
I said must be nice. I wish I had that much money to spend. Okay. Okay. So what's the expiration date of the 100,000 from the
The 100,000 of 2 years to do so.
2 years from when you got the check, or 2 years from the claim
I
date?
believe from the date of loss.
Okay. So that would be October of last year, right? Is the claimant lost?
No, October of this coming year is for that gap, 2 years ago.
Oh yeah, but the last storm that caused all that damage was from October of last year.
Correct.
So-
We still have this October and next October.
Yeah. So it'd be 2 years from last October that we have to spend.
Correct.
Okay.
I
Okay.
have that date in front of me, yes.
Okay. Cool.
All right, the kitchen is done. Waiting for the final say-so from the gas inspector, but we were told, go ahead and use it.
Okay.
He had photos. I had talked to him by text today. He just wants the plumber to call him by phone and verify.
Okay.
And I want to go over that with everybody out there. There's a lot of new pieces out there that none of us know are new. I'm still learning myself.
Okay. Awesome. All good?
All good.
Okay.
The other thing I'm gonna show up there is supplies that we have over the years. Some of the stuff has been there and not used. Some of it is being replaced and getting done new. So I just want a quick review on that.
Okay. Cool. Awesome. Okay. So that is that. Okay. I will entertain a motion to adjourn. Unless anybody has anything else. So moved by Sheila. Second by.
I so moved.
Oh, I'm sorry. Caroline so moved. And then Sheila seconded. All those in favor? Melissa? Sheila? Caroline? And Frank's a nay.
Thank you.
I'm an aye. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. Yes.